Hi everyone, I'm excited to share with you today how to get more organized when you're working in Canva. It is my favorite Canva related topic, and I hope that by the end of the session today that you're feeling a little more excited about getting organized. You're likely watching this training because you are struggling to some degree with the level of organization in your own Canva account. Or you might feel reasonably organized, but you're always looking for ways to tidy things up a bit more. The reality is that if you don't create some sort of organizational structure using folders inside of Canva that you can easily maintain, what will very quickly happen is that you're going to start creating designs, and while at first it will feel manageable to simply scroll until you find the design you're looking for, you will inevitably reach a point where you have so many designs that scrolling and searching becomes too cumbersome. You won't be able to quickly find what you're looking for, you're going to feel a lot more overwhelmed, and you're going to waste a lot of your time. Now, if you're new to Canva, it is the perfect time to set up your system before you get to the point of feeling overwhelmed by all of your designs and images. And if you're already a veteran user of Canva, you may be feeling like it's already out of control. But I promise that you can still create a system and get things back on track. It is never too late. My goal for this training is to try to meet you where you're at in your experience using Canva's organizational features. Some of what I talk about in this video you may already be comfortable with, while for others it will be brand new. But hopefully you'll walk away with at least one more tip or idea that you can implement in your Canva account in order to get more organized. So here's what we're going to cover in this training. What Canva Projects is, why you should be using projects to access your designs instead of your Canva home screen, and how to navigate the projects area in Canva. Then I want to cover a couple of organizational basics, including how to create custom folders and subfolders, and why you should not be relying on your Uploads folder for your images. We'll look at the process of how to batch organize in Canva for better efficiency, and then I'll take you through a basic framework for tackling your Canva account if it's already a hot mess, so that you can create your own organizational system. Let's start with a super quick introduction. My name is Brenda Cadman, and I live in Charlottetown on beautiful Prince Edward Island in Canada. I have been an entrepreneur for more than 24 years. The majority of that was spent running a website development agency, but in September 2022, I decided to retire my website agency so I could focus more of my time on my role as a Canva expert and educator. To that end, I am currently one of a small group of Canva Verified Experts in the world, and I was one of the original 25 selected for the program. And in addition to being a Canva Verified Expert, I'm also a former professional organizer who specialized in organizing paper and filing systems. So Canva organization is my sweet spot. Before we get started looking at the how-tos of getting organized in Canva, it's important to address that I'm making an assumption that you want to get more organized and that you already see the benefits. But for those among you who might be on the fence and who might be wondering why you should care about getting organized, let's first take a quick look at some of the reasons that putting the time and effort into creating an organizational system in Canva or hiring someone to do it for you, why it's worthwhile. What are the benefits of getting organized in Canva? Well, you're going to save a lot of time and stress. Yes, you're going to have to invest some time up front to do the organization, but ultimately you are going to save a lot of time in the future, and that's going to lead to a variety of benefits. You'll see increased productivity and faster turnaround times. And I think this one is probably pretty obvious because clearly if you no longer have to spend a bunch of time searching for the designs, images, and templates that you need inside of Canva, you're going to have more time to actually dedicate to creating the content that you need inside of Canva. So overall, you end up spending less time in Canva, and that's going to leave you with more time to focus on the tasks and projects that actually move the needle in your business, like sales and marketing and supporting your existing clients. Also, if you're a graphic designer or social media manager or template designer or anybody else whose business is the work you create inside of Canva, you'll also be able to reduce the time that it takes to produce design content. And you're also absolutely going to reduce your stress and frustration. I think most business owners have been in a situation where they know they created something in the past that they'd really like to reuse as a starting point. Maybe it's a presentation or an Instagram design or a lead magnet. Whatever it is, you may recall that you created something a month or 3 months or 6 months ago that you'd like to reuse so you don't have to start from scratch. Without an organizational system, you're going to find yourself scrolling to find that design, and inevitably the frustration is going to settle in. With an organized Canva filing cabinet, you're going to spend a lot less effort searching for specific designs or images, which in turn is absolutely going to reduce any friction or frustration you're feeling while working in Canva. Your organization is also going to result in a more efficient team. When you have a team that needs to access the content in your Canva account, a hot mess filing disaster is not going to lead to great team efficiency. But if you have a well-organized Canva account, your team members are going to be able to find what they need faster so they can complete projects in less time. And then finally, an organization system is going to provide you with a more clear focus. Having an organized Canva account is going to eliminate the distractions and clutter that comes with a disorganized workspace. When you know where everything is, you're not going to waste precious mental energy searching for the assets you need or getting sidetracked by irrelevant designs. Instead, you can focus your attention on the task at hand. You know that everything you need is right where it should be. So I think you get the point, and that point is that ultimately there is a cost to Canva disorganization. And when you know how to create an organized system, and when you carve out a bit of time to implement that system, you are going to be able to create your Canva content much faster and with a lot less frustration. So let's get into the how-tos, and an FYI that most of the features I'm going to talk about today are available on both the free Canva plan as well as the Canva Pro subscription. At one point, you could only create 2 custom folders on a free Canva plan, whereas you could create unlimited folders on Canva Pro, but Canva removed that limitation quite some time ago, and now you can create unlimited folders on both the free and Pro plans. That said, there are 3 specific differences that I'll address, but for the most part, you will be able to apply the features and steps we talk about today, regardless of which plan you're on. The first thing I want to highlight is that for effective organization inside of Canva, you should not be working from Canva's home screen. Anytime I do a Canva training and I talk about organization, there is always a question related to how to organize the home screen so that it feels less overwhelming. And the answer is that you currently can't impose any organization or reordering of the content on Canva's home screen, which is why I want you to get used to coming down here to the projects section of Canva. You will have complete control over creating folders and batch organizing designs and images within the projects section of your Canva account, but you don't have the same capability on your Canva homepage. Instead, the home screen is simply going to list all of the designs you've worked in with the most recently edited designs at the top. So for this reason, I do recommend browsing for your designs directly from the Projects tab and skipping the homepage altogether. Inside of Projects, you used to have 2 default folders that Canva automatically added, Starred and Uploads. As part of Canva's Glow Up in 2024, the Starred folder now lives inside of the Templates library. So if you've been wondering where that disappeared to, that's where you'll find it. So with that change, you'll start with just one default folder called Uploads. And this is a folder that you likely know well, as this is most often where you will have uploaded your own images into your Canva account. And we're going to talk in a little bit about a better way to manage those uploaded images. But in addition to the default Uploads folder, you can also create your own custom folders and subfolders in Canva in order to create categories that make sense for your business and how you intuitively organize information. If you want to create a custom folder in Canva, you'll start by going to the Projects area and then click on the Add New button that you'll find in the top right corner of your Projects page. When you do that, you'll have the option to add a folder. You'll give your folder a name, and then you'll click on Continue to create it. But it doesn't stop there, because to have a really effective folder filing system in Canva, you'll want to take advantage of subfolders. That is, creating folders inside of other folders. To create a subfolder, you would walk through the same process I just showed you, but instead of doing it at the top level of projects, you'll do it inside of one of your existing folders. So step 1 is to open the folder where you want the subfolder to live, and then you'll again click on the Add New button in the top right corner, and once again choose to add a new folder. Then give the folder a name and click on the Continue button to create it. And then you can continue to create folders inside of folders as needed, and you can create an unlimited number of folders. The only limitation to be aware of is that you can only nest folders 10 levels deep. It used to be the case that you could only create 2 custom folders on Canva's free plan, and you had to be on Pro in order to create unlimited folders, but that particular limit has not existed in quite some time. So let's look at an example. If you're creating social media content regularly, you might create a main folder in Projects called Social Media to house all of your social media content designs. Inside of that folder, you might have a subfolder for Facebook, one for Instagram, one for Pinterest, and so on. And then perhaps inside of the Pinterest folder, you might have your pin designs broken down by subject matter or by year. And then within the year folder, you might have it further broken down to organize your pin designs by month. At the end of the day, you're going to want to create folders that make sense for you. And ultimately, the most important thing is that you have a home for everything and then stick to using that system consistently once it's working for you. You can also create folders to organize all of your images into categories to make it easier to find what you're looking for. For example, you could have a styled stock photo folder that is broken down by source website and then further broken down into subfolders by subject matter or by color palette, whatever works for you to intuitively browse and find a specific image in the future. A lot of people don't realize that you do not have to store all of your images in the Uploads folder. And to be honest, I would strongly advise against doing that because it just becomes a bottomless pit of images that makes it practically impossible to find what you're looking for over time. Now, I know many of you have chaotic Uploads folders, and image organization is an enormous, overwhelming challenge for a lot of Canva users. In fact, you have probably found yourself re-uploading the same image multiple times because you can't find it. You're going to be able to avoid that in the future if you have a clear organizational system for your images as well as your designs. Start to get into the habit of treating your Uploads folder like a temporary holding spot. Think of it like the in tray on a physical office desk. And just like that in tray, you don't want to treat Uploads like a long-term storage solution. Once you're done with an image, move it into a more permanent folder, archive it, or delete it if you don't require it in the future. And also try to get into the habit of uploading your images directly into the desired custom folder, rather than uploading it into your Uploads folder first and having to move it later. If you're wondering what happens to your designs when you delete images, you can rest assured that Canva preserves media within any design where it's already being used. So deleting an image from your account won't cause any issues with existing designs. Your designs will remain intact as long as you don't intentionally go into your trash and choose to permanently delete an image. And then when you're working on a design inside of Canva's editor and you need to access one of your uploaded images, instead of going to the Upload section of your left-hand navigation to retrieve that image, you'll see that you can access your custom folders through the Projects tab. Once you have your folders set up, it's going to be time to start moving your designs and images into their new homes. So let's briefly walk through the steps to batch organize inside of Canva. That is to select and move or select and delete multiple designs and images at one time. If you've ever hovered over a Canva design or image, you will have noticed that a checkbox appears. And when you select multiple files, you will notice that a folder icon appears in the bottom middle of the page next to a trash icon. When you hover over that icon, it will say Move to Folder, and when you click on the folder icon, you will have the ability to choose which folder to move the selected files to. You can locate a folder through this area called Recent, which shows the most recently accessed folders, or you can browse through all of your project folders to find the desired folder, or you can search for a desired folder by searching on the folder name in this search bar. Once you've chosen the destination folder, you'll simply click on the option to move the files, and then Canva will move all of those files off of your projects page and into your chosen folder. I mentioned earlier that there were 3 organization-related differences in the free Canva plan as compared to Canva Pro. I already talked about tagging only being available on Pro, but there are a couple more to be aware of, and those are specifically the number of items you can store in a folder and the total storage space allotted to your account. In terms of the number of items you can have in a folder, on the free plan, you can have 200 items, whereas on Canva Pro, it's 1,000 items. And in terms of storage, on a free plan, you'll have 5 gigabytes of space, whereas you'll have 1 terabyte of storage space on Canva Pro. So if you have a lot of images or videos that you're organizing in your account, you're going to find that storage space gets used up fairly quickly, whereas you'll have a lot more storage capacity on a Pro account. Otherwise, your experience using and moving content into folders should be the same regardless of which plan you're on. But if you are on Canva's free plan and you want to test out some of the pro organization features like tagging and increased storage space, you can test it out for 30 days at no cost. At the end of the day, I don't like to spend money on things that don't hold value for me. So I definitely recommend that you try out the pro features for yourself to see if the value is there for you before you spend any money on it. So let's move on to do a quick overview of a framework you can use to help you get organized in Canva. Because once you know how to set up folders and move designs and images into them, you have what you need in terms of the mechanics to get organized. But you may be feeling a little stuck on what your next steps should be. So I'm going to walk you through 5 steps, and once you're comfortable with the organizing process, you will likely find that you're able to do more than one step concurrently. But I'd suggest breaking it down into steps when you're new to the process. The first step is focused on deleting and archiving your unneeded Canva designs and images. If you were organizing piles of paper in an office or a filing cabinet, you would start by disposing of the papers that you no longer need. You would also archive into long-term storage the documents that you may need for reference, but that you're no longer actively using. The same process applies for your digital content, including your Canva designs. So I'd recommend you take a stroll down Canva memory lane and review all of the designs in your Canva account. Delete any of the designs that you know you don't need. So for example, you may have copies of the templates you never ended up using, duplicates of designs you thought you would need but didn't, designs that are super outdated that you know you won't need, and so on. For those of you who are afraid to let go of any designs, in case you might need it in the future, I would encourage you to create an archive folder and then move all of those "but what if I need it down the road" designs into that folder. If you haven't needed to access those archive designs in the next year, chances are good that you will feel safer doing a purge of them down the road. Next up is to do a review of what's left in your Canva account after you've finished deleting and archiving, and to update your naming conventions. If you're like most Canva users, you probably have a lot of designs named things like copy of, template XYZ, or final version until you realize it wasn't actually the final version, or untitled design, because sometimes we just skip naming altogether. If you're not intentionally and descriptively naming your designs at the time of creation, it's very easy to end up with vague or overly generic names that can make it nearly impossible to find what you need when you need it. It's important to name your files in a descriptive manner so that you can easily tell at a glance what all of your designs are from the outside, and also so you can more easily search for your designs using the Canva search bar. And as I said, once you're comfortable using the organization features in Canva, you're going to be able to do more than one step concurrently. So for example, while I'm organizing a client's account to delete or archive content, I am typically renaming designs simultaneously. Your third step is going to be to plan and create your folders. Write down a list of all the categories and subcategories you think you'll need to organize your designs, your images, and your video. There is no one-size-fits-all solution about how to break down your folders within Canva. Some of you will only need a small handful of folders. Others will need a really robust filing system. As an example, my own Canva account is broken down into multiple folders, as you can see here, and then those primary folders are further broken down into subfolders as needed. When organizing your Canva workspace, I strongly recommend limiting the number of top-level folders to what you can see at a glance without scrolling. For most people, this often means around 12 to 13 folders. I have 12 myself. I find this number strikes a balance. It's manageable and avoids decision fatigue while still providing enough categories to cover all your content. If you have too many top-level folders, it's easy to start feeling overwhelmed by too many choices. And the whole point of organizing is to make things simpler, not more complicated. I like to draw a parallel here with website navigation design, which was always a key consideration during my years of running a website development company. Just like with Canva folders, organizing a website's primary navigation menu involves finding that sweet spot between too much and too little. You want your primary menu options to be general enough to group related subpages underneath, but also specific enough that it's clear where users can find the information they're looking for. If you have too many top-level folders in Canva, each time you go to find a design, you're forced to sift through a long list of folders, which slows you down and creates friction. But if you have too few folders, they might be overly general and vague, making it hard to locate the content you need. And here's a quick tip. If you ever find yourself hesitating over where to put away a design or image, that friction is a sign that your folder structure might need to be reevaluated. Pay attention to where you'd naturally go looking for that file. Your folder structure should align with your intuition. Once you have your initial list of folders, you can start actually creating your custom folders and subfolders in order to begin building your own Canva filing cabinet. Or you may find it makes more sense to create your folders as you go through the category creation process, whatever feels most natural to you. Once you've got your folders set up so that your designs and images all have homes, you can use the batch organizing technique that I talked about earlier in order to begin moving all of your files into your new folders. And your final step will be to maintain your organization. Once you finish getting through the first 4 steps of this process, your organization system should be in good shape, but even the best system will fall apart if you don't maintain your Canva account. You can create a recurring task on your calendar or your project management tool of choice to do your Canva organization on a weekly or bi-weekly or even a monthly basis. And I'd also recommend a periodic deep clean of your Canva account to review the content of your folders and to delete and archive again as needed. This doesn't need to be very often, but this will also give you an opportunity to reassess your folder system and whether it's still working for you. I know that I'm flying through those steps fairly quickly, so if you want to tackle your own Canva clutter, I do have a free resource you can grab, and that's my Canva Organization Roadmap. It's a quick 5-minute training that will walk through the framework I just talked about, plus it includes a worksheet to help you stay on top of the tasks needed to kickstart your own organization process. Or if you're looking for something more in-depth to help you tackle your Canva clutter, Clean Up My Canva is a step-by-step program designed to help you create an organization system that works for your unique needs. There are 5 modules that walk you through organization basics, organizing your designs, your media, your templates, and then how to maintain your Canva organization. When your Canva workspace is organized, it's so much easier to find the designs, templates, and assets you need, saving you time, reducing frustration, and even helping you feel more creative because you're no longer working in chaos. Clean Up My Canva is designed to give you the tools and strategies you need to streamline your workspace so you can focus on creating, not searching. Finally, I also post a lot of quick Canva tip videos on YouTube, so definitely check that out as a resource as well. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful in getting you one step closer to a more organized Canva workspace.